Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to help you to solve some of the problems in 6.2. So for the first one, we have this triangle and we are trying to solve this triangle. Solving a triangle means that you need to find all the missing sides and angles. In this example that we have here, we are given angle B and side C. So what am I missing here? I miss this side, and this angle. And this angle, C, is already given because it's a right triangle. So this is the only angle which is missing. So we are trying to find all the missing parts of this triangle. Before starting to solve, let me remind you about how we name sides and angles of a triangle. So if I have a triangle here, which is like ABC, we write the angles using capital letters, and then the sides can be named using the small letters based on the angle opposite of that side. Like if this angle is A, the opposite of this angle is this side and can be written as A. This is how I name this side. This angle is C, the opposite side will be C, but with a small letter, and the same is for this one. So this is B. Okay, now let's start working on solving this triangle. I have one angle and the hypotenuse of this triangle. Hypotenuse, because this is opposite the angle 90 degrees. So using an angle and hypotenuse, I can use sine of theta to find opposite side. How? In this way. So I'm going to write sine of angle B. We know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, okay? So it's going to be opposite side, which is B, over hypotenuse, which is C. Angle B is given, so I'm going to write sine of 50 equal to, let's put that in parentheses, it's better, and angle B is given 50. Now side B is what I'm looking for. Side C is given at 10. Now in order to solve this equation for B, I'm going to put the denominator of 1 here and do cross multiple. So from here, B times 1, which is B, is equal to 10 times sine of 50. Now I'm going to use my calculator to find the answer. Okay, so here's my calculator. First of all, make sure your calculator mode is in degrees mode, like this one over here, because we are working with degrees at this time. Next, I'm going to find the answer of 10 times sine of 50. That's my angle. And it's equal to 7.66. So I'm going to write 7.66. That's this side. I can also name this side as AC. So I can write AC equal to 7.66, or write just B equal to 7.66. Doesn't really matter. Okay, now that I have another side found, I can easily find the third side. I can either use the Pythagorean theorem, or let's do another thing this time. I think this one is easier, but it's up to you. You can use any way that you want. So this time I'm going to use cosine of 50. We know that cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent side is A and hypotenuse is 10. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. So denominator of 1 and do cross multiple, and from here A will be equal to 10 times cosine of 50. Okay, so I'm going to use my calculator. 10 times cosine of 50, and it's equal to 6.42. So 6.42. So that's how I find the other two sides. And there's one more thing that I need to find here, and that's this angle A. Well, I know that in a triangle, all the angles will add up to 180. So if I have two angles, I can easily find the other one. So A plus B plus C, these are the angles. They all add up to 180. And I have B, which is 50, C is 90, equal to 180. So A plus 140 equal to 180, and A will be equal to 40 degrees. So that's how I write that, 40 degrees. And in order to show that this is an angle, you need to use this symbol. So use that behind all the angles to say that they are angles. So this is the last thing that I needed to find. Okay. Now let's work on this problem. In this problem, I have side A given. So if this is an angle A, and then we have B and C here, opposite A will be the side A, and it's equal to 4. And side C is also given. It's equal to 7 here. Now, what is missing here? I know that this angle is 90 degrees, so I'm good with this one, but I need to find, also I need to find this side. So let's start with finding this side, which is easy because I can use Pythagorean theorem here. Based on Pythagorean theorem, sum of the square of two legs is equal to square root of the hypotenuse. So I'm going to write this one as b squared plus a squared is equal to c squared. So that means b is the one that I'm looking for. A is 4 squared, which is 16, and c is 7 squared, 49. Now b squared will be 49 minus 16, which is 33, and b will be square root of 33. And let me see what is square root of 33. Okay, square root of 33 is 5.74. 5.74. So I found one of the sides. 5.74. Now I'm going to find the angles. How do I find the angles? Let's see what I have. I only have the sides and one of the angles, and it's not easy to find the other angles here unless I use one of the trig functions. Let's say cosine. Okay, I'm going to use cosine of b here. Cosine of angle B. We know cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So if this is angle B, adjacent side will be this one. So it's 4 divided by hypotenuse, which is 7. So what I have here, I have an angle that cosine of that angle is equal to 4 to 7. Now, what is that angle? How do I find angle? I'm going to use the inverse function of cosine. So cosine -1 of 4 over 7 is going to give me the angle B. Okay, now I'm going to go to my calculator and find cosine -1. Cosine -1 is here. So second cosine will give me cosine -1 of 4 over 7, and it's 55.15. So angle B is 55.15 degrees. Don't forget about this little circle here that shows that you're working with degrees unit. So I found B. Now I can easily find A. Just subtract addition of these two, sum of these two from 180, and you will find A. So I'm going to write angle A is equal to 180 minus angle C, which is 90, minus angle B, which we found it as 55.15. once again, the reason I'm doing this is because A plus B plus C is equal to 180. Okay, so if I subtract all these, I'm going to get 34.82 degrees for angle A. So I found angle A, angle B, and also side B. Once again, instead of side B, instead of writing B, you can also write AC. That's the other way to name the sides. Okay, now let's start working on some of the word problems here. I'm going to start with this one, number 7. A plane takes off at an angle of 5.4 degrees. After traveling for 1 mile along its flight path, how height in feet is the plane above the ground? And we know that 1 mile is equal to 5280 feet. So here's the image of what is happening here. This airplane is taking off. The angle that is making is 5.4, and then it's traveling for 1 mile, which is 5280 feet. Now it's asking what is the height at this point. When it reaches to this point, what is the height here? So I see that I have a triangle here. In this triangle, which is a right triangle, because I'm finding the height, that means here I draw a straight a line which is making a 90 degrees angle here. So this is a right triangle. So I have this angle, I have this side, and I'm looking for this side. If I consider this angle, the side that I'm looking for is the opposite side of this angle. So this is the opposite side. And what I have here is the hypotenuse, because it's opposite the 90 degrees. So using opposite and hypotenuse, I can make my sine function. So I'm going to write sine of this angle, which is 5.4, is equal to the opposite side. We know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite side, let's call that x, over hypotenuse, which is 5280. Now, how do I find x? Just simply, again, cross multiple. X will be, x times 1 is x, will be equal to 5280 times sine of 5.4. And use your calculator and find the answer. I will leave finding the answer for you. The next problem is saying that at a certain time of the day, a flagpole that is 24 feet high. So this is flagpole and it has 24 feet high. Casts a shadow that is 15 feet long. So this is the shadow and it's 15 feet. What is the angle of elevation of the sun? First of all, let's see what does this mean. What is angle of elevation? Angle of elevation is the angle that you need to make with the horizontal line to look at something on top. So let's say, for example, this is the sun. Okay, angle of elevation is, let's say the person is standing here at this point and looking at the side, at the sun. So what is the angle that he needs to make with the ground in order to see the sun? That is called the angle of elevation. So basically, I'm looking for this angle. I have a triangle here, and considering this angle, this side is the opposite side, and this one is the adjacent side. Using opposite and the adjacent side, I can make my tangent function. So tangent of this theta is equal to, we know that it's opposite over adjacent. So opposite, which is 24, over adjacent, which is 15. Okay, now I have an angle. That tangent of that angle is equal to 24 over 15. What is that angle? I'm going to use inverse function because I want to find this theta, and this tangent doesn't let me find theta, so I need to undo this tangent. How do I undo tangent? By using the inverse function. So I go tangent -1 of 24 over 50. So use your calculator again. Tangent -1 second tangent of 24 over 15, and it's equal to 57.99. 57.99 degrees. This is the angle of elevation. I will leave the rest of the problems for you to think and work. Have a great day.